Hey, folks, it's Trey of the Tattoo Squid podcast. Um, yes, it's a very hot fucking day. Welcome to the beginning of summer, which is June 19th, and it's really smeltering kind of out there. So, if we're gonna get into the hots, um, let's get into the deep, dark damnation of the demons and all that. Hmm, shall we? Okay. Well, let's start off with the Wyatt Six. Um, some of you that probably don't know wrestling as much. I mean, I know wrestling, but uh, I'm very, I like certain things. I like dark stuff, you know. So back in the day, like maybe a year before, Bray Wyatt, which was called The Fiend, passed away. Um, and he had a very iconic character. First he was a Wyatt family leader. He had a family. It was like more the outback kind of like backwoods family, with Rowan. Yeah, the people of the family, which one of them is passed away like years before, and Bray Wyatt passed away last year. So you came Bray Wyatt, leader of the Wyatt family, then turned around to be a different character of his own creation, which was the Firefly Funhouse, which the Fireflies were the fans of Bray Wyatt. So Firefly Funhouse was more like subjective in the warped mind. It's almost like a Pee Wee's Playhouse, but more demented. Uh, that's my dog. If you hear it, so she's probably barking at any freaking thing going on. Uh, Firefly Funhouse was a segment they had on WWE where they had, like I said, it was like a Pee Wee's Playhouse kind of thing, but each one represents something of Bray Wyatt's, you know, somewhat past. So they have the puppet where they have individual puppets. So they had Abby the Witch, who represents Wyatt's sister Abigail, which is also the move that he uses, the finisher move. Sister Abigail. Um, Rambling Rabbit, who often disagrees with Wyatt, pretty much on the show, the Firefly Funhouse, and gets killed repeatedly. I mean, just like, and becomes back, obviously. Mercy the Buzzard, excuse me, Mercy the Buzzard, who is based on Wyatt's not member, Wyatt's mentor, Waylon Mercy, which way back in the day, um, he was a wrestler, WWF. He was part of the Twin Towers with Dangerous Dan Spivey. No, I'm sorry, Dangerous Dan Spivey was William Mercy. I'm sorry. Sid Vicious. And then after Sid Vicious left, then The Undertaker, which was not The Undertaker at first, but was Mean Mark Callis. So, but then Wheel and Mercy came to WWF and had like the same outfit as what Bray Wyatt was wearing at the time, when he did the Wyatt family. So it's a more of an homage kind of thing to Whale and Mercy. Uh, Huskus the pig, who reflect on Wyatt's previous persona, which was another character, Husky Harris, which was like more of uh, a rookie wrestler, that they had in NXT. NXT is like its own entity now, but before it was more like a farm system for wrestlers. So anybody that was a rookie, they were not really a rookie, um, but they came from the outside of independent scene or whatever. Uh, they would come on to be a rookie, like Brian Daniels. He was well known as the Dragon outside WWE, but came in portrayed as a rookie kind of thing. So and then they had wrestlers that were so many years in WWE, that they were the experts and they were, the pros training the rookies. So most of the stuff were not rookies, but it was played out. So uh and Husky Harris was one of those rookies, but then became part of the Nexus and um but then also then that was died. The boss, which is like a little devil kind of person that was like a puppet that kind of resembled the chairman of WWE, which was Vince McMahon. And I say was because he's not there. But so that goes on. Now we get to the Wyatt Six. Now it comes back kind of full circle. There was a vignettes for months of Dreadmare, which I love. I love that whole thing. But I thought he was going to come out with the character of Dreadmare, like a new one. But we'll see how that goes. It might transpire into something bigger than what I kind of, phantom what it is. Uh, but he was, Uncle Howdy, which was like a personification of Bray Wyatt's not alter ego, but it was more like another section of his mind. Uh, so they came about, and the Wyatt Six was supposed to be as Rambling Rabbit, the Buzzard, um, Abigail, Husky the Pig, uh, and whatnot. So they all supposed to come together as a human form type of group. Uh, so now let me go and read this from the Yahoo Entertainment section. WWE Universe witnessed the highly anticipated return of Bo that was now known as Uncle Howdy. On WWE, Uncle Howdy's return was first teased in a documentary about Bray Wyatt. Since then, QR codes have appeared on multiple episodes on Raw and SmackDown, offering hints about how his next move. Which, if you've seen it, there is QR codes shows everything from little snippets of videos or just stuff rambling on and give you little insight of what goes on and what they're going to do. And you have to like kind of figure out the QR code, which a lot of these viewers and a lot of a lot of streamers actually have been looking at this and trying to figure it out. Uh, so the main event of the latest edition of Raw was an intense triple threat match for who's going to be pretty much getting into the for the Money in the Bank spot. So you have Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Finn Balor is part of Judgment Day. Jey Uso's on his own. Main event, Jey Uso. Rey Mysterio, as we all know, the master of all masks. It's all eyeing to come to this spot of Money in the Bank ladder match. Jey emerges victorious, so he's in the ladder match, pinning, you know, Finn Balor with a frog splash as Jey celebrated his win. The arena went darkness. The camera panned to the entrance ramp and where the figures associated with Uncle Howdy made their shocking introduction. Which, if you watch Raw, and I haven't seen Raw, but I've seen the snippets of it. So all the lights go out as it would do for Bray Wyatt or the Fiend, where he emerges out. Cutting back to where the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, uh, he emerged from wherever he was at, we call it to the Elimination Chamber, or no, I'm sorry, the not Elimination Chamber, but the more uh, like ECW type of matches. So he comes out, and then they showed Uncle Howdy with like the mask. So now you got the door again, but it's been slammed open. Um, and cameraman ventures through and looks around, and pretty much the whole backstage area is like shambled, blood splatter, everything else. So now let's get back into the whole thing here. Um, After Uncle Howdy introduces new faction WWE Universe, speculations swirled about its official name. Confirmed W confirmed a group's identity with the release of new merchandise, the Wyatt Six. So it's not like six, like number six. It's like six, like the Wyatt is getting sick on people. Um, the shocking debut, Uncle Howdy's faction launched a brutal attack on WWE superstar Chad Gable, which he went through a lot of stuff with his Alpha Academy. But you see him with like a bloody head just laying there. The faction also attacked the production staff as the cameraman panned across the gorilla position, leaving everybody shocked. So, uh, the new faction comes about where now, and this is what I don't like. It, I like the mystique of the whole thing. Uh, back in WWF, they have Papa Shango, was like a witch doctor. No, we didn't know who he was. Back then, there was no internet. There was no, uh, yeah, pretty much no internet. So you can't really tell who's who or what's what and what they're going to plan on doing. Now with the internet, they're just giving out all these leaks like, oh, this is what WWE is going to do with this character and this character. It doesn't give you the mysteriousness of what goes on, especially with the Wyatts. It's like, who's going to be this character? Who's going to be that character? Now you know who the character is and who's playing what, or who's going to be this character. I'm like, give us some oomph on the whole thing, But that's the only thing I don't like. I love how they had the characters, makeup and costumes and all that, and I love how that looks. But if you really want to know who's who, they do have it on here. Hence the fucking internet, it has everything. And I tell you, the internet is going to ruin everybody's life. I mean, it helps us podcasters, looking up stuff, but when you want to go and do something and like, oh, well, this guy has so much, now. Well, anyway, Dexter Loomis, part of WWE, and he got fired, came back, they didn't know what to do, blah, 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 blah. He's Mercy the Buzzard. Joe Gacy, no relation to the serial killer, I don't think, is Husky the Pig, Huskus the Pig. Nikki Cross, which has been in a faction where it was like called Sanity, and that group kind of lost its sanity a long time ago. And she was great in that. Now she's Abby the Witch, like Abigail. Um, Eric Rowan comes back, but he's the Rambling Rabbit, and Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy. Um, but they showed numerous other people that did get attacked, and what could that be for the future? We know Chad Gable got attacked. Triple H can't really tell. I mean, he's in that gorilla position area. That was in shambles. You see the the buzzard, hanging around like a buzzard does. Carmelo Hayes, you see a little bit of him. I think Gunther was laying on top of him. There was another picture by itself in the smoke, but you can't really tell. Dominic Mysterio, uh, Chad Gable, like I said before, you see, Busted Head, whatever. Cody Rhodes, I don't know where you'll find him, probably in a gorilla position somewhere. I don't know. But that I have to say this for uh this is what I love about WWE. We call it, they are great with their cinema uh type of vignettes. They do a really great job. They did AJ Styles versus Undertaker. That was, used for a word, a better term, phenomenal. Um, because it's like more like that horror film, uh, House of a Thousand Corpses kind of thing. They go to a house or a backyard area. The graves are all dug up. It's kind of like the Matt Hardy kind of compound situation. But yeah, it's I love how they do that. So now we're gonna see something going on with them near future. It's gonna be something crazy. So then we get on to my favorite band. And I love this band. I just gotta fucking find it. Where did you go? Where did you go? Hello, no, no. God damn it. Um, Son of a bitch. I gotta find it. Hold on, folks. This is here we go. So my favorite band, I love what I got a whole bunch of favorite bands. My girlfriend says every time, then I have your favorite band. It's a whole bunch. So there's a band called Mushroomhead, which is like 8 members. Uh, give or take. There is 8 members. 8 members automatically. Point there's all different people at different times. Some people leave, they got somebody else to replace, and it seems like the same fucking people. But they usually have 2 singers in the beginning. Then it was 3 singers, and then it was 3 singers again for a couple of years, and then I think it went back to 2 singers, and then back to 3 singers. So the only thing is, from 1993 to 2000, 2 of the albums I don't really know, which is Super Buick and M3. Not really sure about that, but I know about the band. Uh, they have like these masks, like different types of masks, which are cool as hell. I wish I can get these guys on um, the podcast. Not all of them, but decent amount. Um, so 1993. Well, let's start off like Mushroomhead is an American heavy metal band from Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio. I don't know how they usually say it. Formed in 1983 in the Warehouse District. The band is known for their avant-garde sound and horror film inspired imagery. Well, that's the reason I like it. Which features masks and costumes as well as their unique live shows, usually performed at smaller venues. See, now the smaller venues, I seen it, and I didn't see them live, but I seen the smaller venues on their DVDs, and it's fucking crazy. It's awesome how they get all these people. I remember the Double X and 13, which is X111, or uh, but I remember those albums. The yellow albums, not sure. But in 2000, Mushroom acquired a record deal with the independent label Eclipse Records, and in 2001, the band released their first ever labeled release. Aha! Now that's the reason why, because I think the other 2 albums were in a underground capacity rather than a well kind of a well established independent label. Uh, a real and they say a record deal with an independent label, um, which contains remixes and remastered versions of their selected songs from the first 3 Mushroom albums, Mushroom Head albums. albums. Later in the year, after quickly selling almost 40,000 copies in just 2 to 3 months, the band signed with the major label Universal Records, and the compilation was re-released internationally. The release of the album led Mushroomhead major national and international tours, including Ozfest, which that made a killing doing. Uh, and their video Solitaire Unraveling, which is an awesome video. Again, Mushroomhead can make some. Their videos are very complex over the years. I mean, even now we got this. They got no album called "Call the Devil," uh, which I've seen a couple of. I think one video, and I think they might have another one on the whiteboard. Their masks are very complex, and their videos are very complex. I love how they do that. So yeah, Solitaire Unraveling, do, more, piano wise. Um, The Sun Doesn't Rise, the single. It was also featured in Headbangers Ball on the CD, and the Freddy vs. Jason soundtrack. Uh, as featured a hidden track "Crazy," a song originally by Seal. The album debuted at number 40 in Billboard's. After an extensive world tour, vocalist J Man announced he was leaving the band in August 2004, citing exhaustion and to take care of his sick father. Which, it happens. Yeah, you have to do what you got to do with family. Family comes first. That's what I've been told many years. Family comes first. Uh, but J Man, he does more. I don't know, more. I'm not gonna say rap, but more. He's very influential about his lyrics. I'll just say that. He was replaced by Three Quarters Dead singer, which I don't know. Look it up if you want and tell me about it. I have no idea. But his name is Waylon. In August 2005, Mushroomhead self-released its first DVD on its Filthy Hands label, Volume 1. Directed, produced, shot, and edited by the band, Volume 1 covers the band's rise in 2000 with a live performances, music videos, and behind the scenes footage. I've seen this DVD, folks. Fucking awesome. Loved it. Love it. Just shows the whole how they tour, their tour bus, where they stayed at, the behind the scenes of what a band usually would do on a tour bus. Like they destroy the tour bus at the end, or they go and raid other people's thing. They talk about uh, the airplanes, like, oh, Elton John gets first class. How come we get coach? Blah 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 blah. Um, so it's great. They do a whole bunch of like how they're drunk. They go to promote their albums and all that. It is fucking awesome. They got a volume 2, but we'll get that at because we're gonna read this. While on the road in 2005, Mushroomhead began the process of writing new material and recording a new album. December 2005, Mushroomhead signed with Megaforce Records, which I think Metallica uh, was on Megaforce Records like way back when they're doing independent stuff, and nobody didn't know who they were for the longest time until they got into a major label. Um, Ensuring that new album's availability nationally and internationally on June 6, 2006, Mushroomhead launched Mushroom Combat, an interactive flash feature as a part of their band's official website. The minigame pits band members against each other in a Mortal Kombat style environment, with each member having a unique fatality. Now that's fucking awesome. That is. Mushroomhead also headlined with Dope, which is on the DVD. You'll see some craziness on that. One guy tried dressing up like the lead singer of Dope, and he looks exactly like him. Nocturne and New Orleans locals in vain on the Music for Freedom's tour, sponsored by Jägermeister at the House Blues in Louisiana. Jägermeister, which I love, fucking love. Jägermeister. Hold on, wait, I got to just look for the picture real quick. Jägermeister. So then I can put that for the episode. Ah, okay, cool. So, um, August 16th, 3 or 4 days before my birthday, the show was one of the last big acts to play in New Orleans, long time due to Hurricane Katrina striking New Orleans in August 29, 2005. Savory of Sorrow and Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children was released. Savory of Sorrow was released in September 2006. That's a good one. That is awesome. Uh, don't know the actual songs per se, but uh, I just know that it's a good fucking album. I love it. Um, I'm actually gonna listen to Mushroomhead back, now we could, I wish I could use their songs for intros. If I can get their permission or something, I wish. But where are we? All right, well, the band has performed 3 shows on the Mayhem Festival tour, filling in for Bullet for my Valentine. Live footage was compiled into the band's second DVD volume titled Volume 2. Mushroom had won Video of the Year 2007 on MTV2's Hammering at Ball for 1200 was on Savior of Sorrow. From the Savior of Sorrow record, September 17, 2008. It was announced that the band will release the Volume 2 DVD on October 28th. They released Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children 2010. Within the first week of it went to #1 best selling metal album for iTunes. Your Soul is Mine has appeared on Saw 6 of the soundtrack. Uh, Also, music video for Come On debuted on Headbangers Ball and MTV, which I'm hoping they're gonna bring that motherfucker back. I mean, I wish they did. I'll be watching that. But it's gonna be at midnight. I can probably watch it when I get back home from work. Yeah, I think I will. Um, so in 2010, following the death of ex-bandmate JJ Righteous, J-Man appeared on stage with the band during their Halloween show, performing vocals on 2 songs alongside Jeffrey Nuffin and Waylon. So that's with the 3 people. Um, Both he and Waylon made a point of announcing that there were no hard feelings between the two of them, and they are in fact in good terms with each other. October 2010, the professional wrestling promotion known as TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, now called Impact Wrestling, used their hit song Come On as the theme song to promote a match between Ric Flair and Mick Foley. Yeah, that's fucking cool. 2012 announced that guitarist Gravy and bassist Pig Venus would be replaced by Tommy Church and Ryan Farrell, respectively. 2012, Dave Gravy Felton stated publicly on his Facebook page that he was kicked out of the band. May 2012, Lil Dan Fox left Mushroomhead to work on another band. It was rumored that he is working as a drummer technician for Marilyn Manson. Felton posted on his fan page an interview that his latest band. In the interview, was asked about the Mushroomhead split. He was kicked out via email. That's kind of fucked up. And that was the first time that he had been told to leave. Overall, I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of the. Well, here's the other one. There's like to the present. Uh, there's one to call the Devil, uh, which is going to be in June 13th, which is right now we are at June 13th. Yeah, the band released the single Fall in Line and announced their 9th studio album called The Devil is advertised in the continuation of the accessible event style and the previous 2 albums in opposed to the heavier and more new metal influenced works of Waylon Error. On the same day, former vocalist Jeffrey Nuffin teased the formation of Jeffrey Nuffin's Mushroomhead, composed of other members of the band after previous vocalists such as Revis and J-Man had mended bridges with the band. Um, so Call the Devil, that's going to be out soon. Wonderful Life. Oh, so yeah, also in 2020, it was announced that the band's new album, A Wonderful Life, would be released on June 19th. Also revealed the touring vocalist Jackie LaPanza, who has toured with the band since 2014, had officially joined the band on a full-time basis, adopting the alias Ms. Jackie, if she's naughty. Uh, the second single, The Heresy, is very sick video. Very good. Very good. Love it. Was released on May 2020. The album was released on June 19th. Yeah, pretty much today. You know, 3 years today. Uh, Schedule, unfortunately, her tenure with the band was cut short as both she and finally left a year later. Jenkins Gow stepped in and replaced the latter. Uh, like I said, there's a whole bunch of band, members. We call it in and out, but it is said, current members is Steve Skinny Felton, percussion samples, keyboards, Dave Gravy Felton, guitars, Brian Dr. F. Farrell, he's a bass, Robbie Roberto Diablo, sorry, Steve Ruckenford's vocals, Jackie LaPanza, which, president, she's on vocals, Jenkins, guitars, Scott X. Beck, vocals, and Aiden Kerr, drums, was samples and all that. But, there's a lot of different members. It's crazy how probably like 15 to 20 members almost, just in and out, in and out. Oh, well, look at this. You got like, there's a person that was a juggler, pogo stick, and did fire breathing. Another one did dancing, percussion, keyboard, percussion. There's a lot of percussion and keyboards. So, well, anyway, we're gonna go into if I can fucking find it again. God damn it. No, no. Maybe not. We're gonna go into Greek mythology. Uh Typhon or Typhon. Greek mythology. Typhoeus or Typhon was considered the mightiest and deadliest beast. He was the last son of Gaia and Tartarus, which the hell, created during the Titan Omagi, as a last effort to repel or repeal the Olympian gods from destroying the Titans. Typhon was a fire-breathing dragon regarded as the father of monsters, with 100 heads that never slept. Never. Gaia wished to punish Zeus after the Titan thing error, imprisoning her Titan children in Tartarus. Therefore, Typhon was born in the first battle. Typhon approached Zeus and managed to repel almost all the Olympic gods and cut down Zeus's tendons. Ooh, you don't see that on Hercules' legendary journeys. Hermes managed to get back the tendons and send them to Zeus, and finally Zeus, who finally hurled his bolts of lightning Typhon and overpowered him, where he had trapped him below Mount Etna. So with Zeus, the speculation, we're not going to go into a whole thing because I was talking about the band. But what did he look like? We're going to tell you what he looks like. So he was a giant. He was a giant who was so tall that he hit the stars with his shoulders. His body was a man. but his legs were coils of vipers that would hiss and strike when he walked. His main head had 100 snakeheads on it that would make various animal noises. His eyes were light crimson, and anyone who looked at them would be frightened, and he had what was considered a savage jaw that would breathe flames. His body had hundreds of different wings on him, and much like his legs, his hands were made of 100 snake coils. Typhon is a child of Gaia and Tartarus, as we said before, me as in me and my multiple personalities. Um, I was the goddess of the earth. Tartarus was a murderous pit without a rim. Some stories suggest that Hera tried to create a god greater than Zeus, making Typhon give birth to these two gods. Uh, Conclusion: Typhoeus, Typhon, Typhus, Typho, several different names also known as Typhoeus, but the tail remains the same. His hands spread east and west, and some of his heads were dragon heads, actually. So this guy was a monster. And his story, there may be gods and demons, but you can only hardly learn to be deity who is a also a demon. It's precisely what Typhon is, and that's why he's one of the most frightening gods you can meet. He is most frequently portrayed as the most strong and fearful deity in Greek mythology, so it is no wonder that his name stirs up so much fear and awe. The monstrous storm giant Typhon laid siege to heaven but was overcome by Zeus and trapped in the pit of Tartarus. He was also the cause of the dark nether destruction realm's winds. Later poets depict him as a colossal volcano such stuck in Sicily under the weight of Mount Etna. He was associated with the giant Encelodes in his guise, or Encelos. Your voice not really good with big words. I mean I can do big words, but now I used to be a spelling bee champion. But that's about it for now. Uh yeah. So you'll like the episode art. I got a lot I can put in there. If you want to learn more about anything or you got any suggestions, uh, just go to my link tree. Uh, so the link tree is linktr.ee/tattoo squid podcast. That's TATOSQUIDPODCAST. Um, and also, if you want to get merch, which I got a new shirt. Uh, my friends are not going to be happy about it, but uh, I have a new shirt. It has a person going like this, or like this, going like this, you know, and saying, I can't. Yeah. It's an inside joke, uh, but it's it's funny, and I put it out there. So if you want to grab one of those, that'd be great. Um, but it's and for you, and I'll put the link in the description box or in the uh, podcast notes for the Audible section. The video section I'll put in the description box. Um, Check that out so you can go to all my different, like, on Instagram, YouTube. Uh, oh my God. Well, anyway, you go to all the different, like, apps or whatever on there. So you'll see the list on there, and the various other podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts at. I'm sorry it's not as fun. Uh, but if you want to be a guest, and if you're on Twitter, just go to @podcast tattoo squid, and just message me. If you want to be a guest on the show, have a lot of fun. Ask anybody else that's been on there; they could tell you they had a lot of fun. A couple of them have made two to three, maybe four appearances. Um, and then other ones have made one appearance, but they did have fun on the whole thing. So, uh, and also you can get me on Instagram at, I had to think about it. No, it's a tattoo squid dot podcast. Um, yeah, so just check all that stuff out. Um, like I said, it's hot out there in certain areas of the world. If you're listening in the United States, if you're in that area where, if you're in the Northeast area where it's like gonna be like a little humid and hot, keep hydrated, drink a lot of water. Um, stay in AC if you could. If you work in a hot work area, again, drink a lot of water, stay hydrated. You know, that's about it. So basically, this program is brought to you by the word fire because we dealt with typhus or typhoon, which deals with like fire and the netherworld and the underground. Uh, Wyatt Six, which is more like an entity kind of thing, where everybody's like multitude of backgrounds of your mind. And Mushroomhead, which has a multitude of different people with different masks and different personas. So it's a clusterfuck of different stuff. Um, but again, if you want something that's fun, let me know. I'll look it up, see what I can do. Um, have fun, stay healthy, uh, give to the homeless. I know I don't really sound like that we quote every time, but now with this heat and everything else, homeless gonna be more um, out there. So they, give them a bottle of water, give them some food, give them like I'm not gonna say give them a place to stay. If you do, you're a saint. Um, long story short, I've seen this guy, and actually, there's two people. One, this guy has like a cart, has like everything in it. So homeless people, they find like the most ridiculous things. But this guy is smart motherfucker. This guy is. He goes to outside Dunkin' Donuts, but he has one of these like enclosed um see-through like canopy kind of thing. But so if it's cold outside, you're not gonna feel it. You're inside, you're nice and toasty, whatever. So that way you can um be okay for the weather and everything else. And this guy's very smart. If he has that and he has like an air conditioned little portable thing, he's golden. There's also another one that is in a certain area, towards like the nighttime. I'm not gonna say what store because it doesn't really matter because uh, but he has like a quilt like laid out like on the sidewalk. He's just sprawled out and you don't have to worry about rain because he's underneath like protection. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's all I want to say about that. So folks, take it easy. Have a well, today is Wednesday. I haven't got a chance to do it on the weekend. Been working, tired. We all know. We've been there. So I bid you adieu. Take it easy, and I will talk to you again, well, in a couple of days. Probably on Sunday. Because taking off and get my car fixed, bring the dog over to our family's house and let her run amok in the backyard. So take it easy, folks. I'll talk to you on the flip side.